last two sections are going to be a short overview of our testing. I realize the time we're running up to the end here, so I'll go through this quicker, and we'll hit just kind of a preview of the next code that was loaded for approval back in June and sold in the next 12 months. You'll probably see it published from AASHTO. It's the next version, I think. Tell me differently which one you'd rather hear more about, testing or the next code. Next code. That's kind of what I was thinking. If we disagree, we can talk afterwards about the one we short. We can talk more about testing afterwards if you want to stick around. Give you a real quick overview. One of the things about Valmont is we talk to you learning through past experiences, learning through research, and learning through development. So we have a dedicated product development group, 3 engineers, a couple of drafters, and we have our own test sites. So just kind of give a little overview of that. So if there's opportunity or need for sort of testing or want to hear more about that, we can do it. We have to really do static load testing, so we do a lot of strength checks, and sometimes it ends up, roll strength, especially on like aluminum castings. Really determine what's the true capacity for these. We can on this one here we can load up to about a 35-foot long pole. See the yellow base adapter at the end allows us to test along the diagonal, or take that off. We can test across the flats and check in both directions of concern. Like I said, a lot of aluminum product, a lot of castings. The best way to find your strength is actually going through our ultimate test. So there we are doing. I don't know which kind of base that is. There's a structural aluminum base with your tube already welded in, and the load is going through that unit. There we go. So static deflection testing, a lot of trolley pull stuff. We do quite involved with trolley, and a lot of times in the functionality side, they want to see a certain load of 2% of the full HLAW deflection. So we do a lot of that. Next picture is 2 pictures. This test site was actually built back in the early 70s. I did a lot of utility pole testing from the 70s, 80s, and 90s. In the vertical direction, we can mount, it's a little bit better view. We can mount upwards of 165-foot tall pole. We've tested, when it was fully operational, we were running 5 to 7 load points. Each load point can do about 50,000 pounds. So you put a lot of load quite high up on a structure, millions of foot-pounds. Force on something to really check capacity. Typically in this, we're not doing any sort of ultimate test. This is more just to verify the designs. And then as the industry on the lighting side, probably the area we do a lot of our testing is in the fatigue side. We have a rotating beam setup where we can take 2 structures, put the weight in the middle, simulate some more of the stress ranging, and try to get a 4.5 KSI, 7 KSI stress across that bolted joint. Put one point on each side, the base plates in the middle, so that's, again, where your high stress is. Put on rollers, and you start rotating it in about a cycle, second every second and a half, and just let it go. And by every, in the beginning, about every 8 hours, you check it, and twice a day we get it if we leave. Then eventually a little less. When you let it run, you start seeing cracks. Once one cracks, you put a new one on. Typically test about 5 or 6. Get an idea on a certain sort of joint what the actual capacity is in the fatigue side. We ran stuff on this. That fatigue was really picking up emphasis in the industry. We were looking at the square pull, the fatigue resistant square pull we have. Ran cycles in the range of 5-6 million cycles per structure. So you're out there on that maybe for 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks. So you see the cracks and go from there.
About 10 years ago, CDOT changed the design on the secret holes in the arms. We were discussing the design. I was going to ask you if they've seen any failures, because your testing at the time showed that old joint, not the welded joint, never failed, but there were some failures in these after so many cycles. Do we know if there are any, have we seen any of that showing up yet?
We've never had any failures. But you got to understand that the forces and stresses in the code and whatnot are a worst case scenario. And as Valmont has shown here, not every signal vibrates. And quite frankly, even when we find them, the public, we find them through the telephone. They get the call.
They find us.
And we go out and put the horizontal sign light on, and that pretty much solves the problem. So have we ever exercised one to the extreme that they're doing here? No. And also, Carl Frank, that is full reversal. because they rotate that pole, and that's how that works. And Professor Frank at UAT decided that it's really more of a monotonic thing, not full reversal, just back like this. And so he did all his testing down there monotonic. And it doesn't get the same results as this. I'm not trying to discredit anything. I'm just saying it's a complicated world, okay? And so consequently, we haven't pulled the stiffeners because we haven't seen any damage. When we get time, we want to take them out. When we get time to work on our standards. Because I think that it's been pretty well proved that if you do the right type of welding, get thick enough base plates, the ratio of pipe wall thickness to base plate is such and so, that you don't need those. So that's where we're going.
Is there a move to upgrade standards at all CDOT standards based on what we're talking about today?
Well, our standards are always dynamic. Our problem right now is staffing and money.
So we'll be able for a while.
Yeah. We have no reported failures of anything in our new design. They've been up there for more than 10 years. They've been up there for 14 years or something. So we haven't had any failures, which means they're pretty well designed. Now, our next goal when we do it will be to trim them, see if we can trim them down. That'll be these two guys right here, Juan Bowie and Scott Houston. These two guys will be working on that in the future. But it's rough right now, as we all know. We had a big flood last year.
Yeah, they have some effect on that involvement, huh?
Also, he mentioned the dampener, the vibration. The only ones I've seen one or two of them really, and those weren't mounted above the signal heads. They were mounted right on the arm, out on towards the end.
We're going to be toward the end.
It wasn't up above the signal heads.
Well,
One
you got-
separation.
well, they might be incorrectly installed, and Jim's going to speak to that.
And better not call me Jim Dick.
But there's a certain point, and you guys know, Carl told me, don't get it too far up. You're trying to make laminar flow through there. So I don't know how far you guys want the horizontal sign length above the top of the plant.
I have to go back to the exact of what that paper sent from UT, but I believe the rule of thumb is kind of a full diameter, or a shaft diameter.
In that report, it says 6 inches clear above your signal head. So if your signal head's mounted, midpoint, then we just put it that far above. And then we have some steel pipe sections that come up and clamp to the arm and go up above, and then a steel rack that attaches to that horizontal. There's about 6 inches clear for that report.
This is on the city streets. This is on 23rd Avenue, Green Wall. It's the city spec. They came up with their own spec pole on. But I saw one there. There's one there now, but it's not mounted.
Well, if it works, good deal.
I don't know.
But at first we thought we wanted to treat them like a wing, and position them this way or that way. And Carl told us, no, just do it horizontally. We're trying to create laminar flow. And here's my problem. If you get too far above, you're not going to create laminar flow. And so it has to be. You
6
can't
inches
mount
above the picture.
But see, I would take exception to that after talking to Carl. You're trying to get close to the pole as you can to get the air to fly through. Yeah, yes, because you're trying to stabilize that vortex.
And we have two test sites. The way I understand our facility, we have a breakaway test site, just 2 videos. We talked earlier, we did some breakaway testing with companies like clamshells. We also did on a structural basis. So this is, go back. So here's more of a passing test. This is design. So we have a bogey, 1,850 pounds. You can swing it upwards of 20. Passing can be actually swing it 40 miles an hour. For a test, you can swing it around 20 miles an hour and actually constructively break our goal is to see if that's
Is that for breakaway?
Yes, for breakaway.
That doesn't mean AASHTO, right? Because AASHTO is supposed to use cards.
Well, AASHTO up until all the way through 2013 recognized that CHO 350 testing, which this is compliant to 350. You can use a bogey on a structure. Going forward, you can't. As of right now, the bogeys are not compliant to the MASH testing. You know, we show you all this stuff that works, but sometimes you find out your stuff's stronger than you think it is. So nothing much happens. So if you need any bollards, we can supply those also.
That's what it is.
We also have finite element analysis capabilities in a lot of our sites. Ram Hansis, Al Gore, Risa. Actually, one of our employees up in Canada was on the developmental board and helped write a lot of the code behind it. So we have some expertise within the group to really be powerful. I'll get through this one pretty quick, so we get to the next code. We have a new process which you guys adopted 3 years ago, if I recall the dates. It's a hybrid laser arc welding for seam welds. Make it short and sweet. The old way of doing the welding on the seam was submerged arc. The HLAW has a better weld quality. You near 100% seam penetration on the first pass. A lot less repair, a lot less heat put into the seam, a lot less residual stresses. It's going to be better. Really what it is a combination of gas metal arc and laser. Hate to fly through it, but timing-wise, maybe has more questions. We can talk afterwards. You're combining those two methodologies together. The huge advantage for our productivity is travel speed. It goes upwards of 120 inches a minute in ideal conditions. When we're actually doing the manufacturing, it's probably twice as fast as the submerged arc. And then, of course, low heat input and typically one pass, near 100%. You're getting that 60% AASHTO once. There's very little repair. It's a little more particular in joint setup, so it requires a lot more overhead to work it, but the savings on all the repairs and all the potential problems is huge. Here's kind of a short summary of it. You can see down the middle, yellow is the laser. It cuts a little keyhole right after the weld is placed and pushes the weld filler metal into the joint, so it's welding it through a little bit of the electro-resistance style welding where you're actually melting the two sides together, but then putting some filler material to make sure you fill the whole joint. So there's an example of what this HLAW seam weld looks like. It's a much smaller weld. This picture is hard to see. I think what we do is this larger weld cap for a submerged arc versus the HLAW on the other side. So I brought a little sample we can pass these around. You can see how much less heat marks you see on there and how much more precision of joint and the penetration. You'll see one, you see penetration all the way through, that's one pass with the HLAW. The other one is a submerged arc. You can kind of see it doesn't actually get to the bottom of the joint, but still meeting the 60% minimum from AASHTO. Kind of blown up picture. One pass on the right, that's the submerged arc on the left. You actually go back and do some repair at the end to get full penetration, where with HLAW you'll test it and typically find out you have full penetration on the first pass. Again, I have videos. But I'd like to do the next code. If you don't stick around afterwards and see the videos, talk more about it. We'll be here. All right, next design code. We all know lots of different design codes, 94, 2008, 2009. I just point out it seems to be about every 7 or 8 years for a while. All of a sudden 4 years, 2 years, new code. So they're starting to come a little bit quicker. Don't know if that's going to be anything looking forward.
Part of your welding process?
Yes, sir.
Is that pretty much proprietary, or did you develop some of this equipment, or is this something you're
We did not make it all in-house. We worked with a group out of, I think it's from Germany, and worked with them. This is something I think you see more on pipeline, I recall.
Shipbuilding.
Yeah.
We're one of the only ones that are using this combination of forming and welding.
Yeah.
trying to get all that?
That's, you see all the jigging required to close up the shaft. So,
You got that section line across the brass?
yeah, we really don't just come from sing to us about it. So just an overview, real quick. 2013 about 200 pages plus the appendices. The newest one we call it 2015, so that's what we expect it to be published at 250 pages, so almost twice as many pages. They just have a lot more information, a lot more data. The real quick overview is it went to LRFP. So from allowable stress over the last 6 codes to LRFP, and it adopted the ASC 710 methodology. So the ultimate wind speeds. So what does this mean to you? course, in LRFD, a lot of the load combinations using more than 1.25. They call it DC as their dead component, and then LL is live load. Extreme case 1.1 dead plus 1.0 main. Brings in the AC 710 wind maps. So the difference is you're using ultimate wind speed. So any location is used to saying 90 miles an hour will now say 115 miles an hour. Is it any higher pressures? No. The way the equation works, it comes back to the same pressure in many situations. We'll get that in the calculation on the next slide. Design life, instead of in the past, standard design life was 50-year design life for wind speeds, 2,500. They now use what they call mean reoccurrence interval. So 100-year reoccurrence interval, 300-year reoccurrence interval, 700-year reoccurrence interval. But when you actually look at all the math behind it, 700-year mean reoccurrence interval is 50-year design life. They've just, the way they look at it, the statistics they use, the probability behind it is now called 700. It's the same wind pressure. So here's an example of a maps out of the old 2009. Yeah, I apologize for this label. The old wind coast, like 2013, you see out through Colorado and Utah areas that do 90 mile an hour wind speed. Now for the exact same design life, switching to 700-year MRI, you have 115 miles an hour. What they've done is they've taken the importance factor out of the equation over here. The importance factor's gone. You don't miss it because that's now incorporated in the wind map. So we look at it, we bring it up just because that's new education to everybody's going to be using this, calling things out because you call it a higher wind speed. We're not getting necessarily a higher load on the structure. It's just the way it's set up. The other item, these aren't really lining up right, is just a case of B, there's a directionality coefficient now that's incorporated in the wind pressure. So depending on the type of your structure, if it's the traffic, if it's high mast, if it's street lighting, if it's got a signal on it or not, use it every case of B. Probability of your analysis using a worst case situation when you do your wind check, that's what brings into there. A little minor change. As of right now, again, everything we have is from the draft copy. I think it's been distributed to a lot of states. A lot of people have the copies of it. The case of B changed a little bit. The case of B equation, it rounded to 2.01, which has been the same for the last two coasts, 2.0. So your case of Z value is actually coming down a little bit. It's actually reducing a little bit of load on your structure. From the strength design side, we talked about LRFDs. You bring in your fee factors, depending on your type, shear, torsion, flexure, 0.9, 0.95, down to the tension could be 0.75. And of course, you design the ultimate to a plastic section modules instead of elastic section modules. You amplify the loads, you amplify really away your strength side of it. In your action equations, instead of using stresses, use loads. You divide your ultimate load over your resistance load. Keep it all less than 1. Some of in the details, they talk about the serviceability requirements. In the old 2013 previous codes, they talked about checking for deflection of something like a span wire pole under dead load. Now the same requirement, 2.5% of the structure heights down here, they talk about under service 1, which includes some wind. So you actually maybe apply wind to the structure when you're checking these deflections, which could potentially increase your sizes. Same logic with it's the same impact here we noticed in the deflections under this more on the lighting pole. We talked about a 0.358 per foot slope, which is about a 1 degree 40 minute angle. Used to be under this dead load. Right now the code is stated if there's not any changes, we'll actually have you apply the dead load plus some wind and check your deflection. So you have to step up your pole a little bit. The interesting thing on the fatigue side, everything we've talked about is all still here to stay. There was no changes in it. All they come in and talk about is using a lambda and P factor in front or behind your stress side, but then they both equal 1. So really, you're just making sure your stress at that joint is below the stress you designed for. Similar to the designs that this team has shown. So the AASHTO 2013 had that exact same equation, just didn't have one program in front of it. You talked about running cars in a breakaway. As it's worded, I interpret the next one, LRT 2015, to say that you have to be MASH compliant. which is, this is the wording right out of there, breakaway devices shall meet the requirements herein and of MASH, which is manual for assessing safety hardware. What that does is that, as of right now, none of the bogey setups like we just saw, that we know of, well, we know for a fact, none of the bogeys are allowable for testing the MASH. You have to use real cars. The reason why is they want to see the roof deflection. We actually have something, the pole would fall on top of the car, how much roof crush would you get, what happened to the windshield, all those kind of things. With that bogey, all you can do is break it, which is kind of fun, but you can't determine how much roof crush you get. So previous versions of the code always at 350, so you're going to see a lot of that, a lot of the inventory out there is 350 compliant. Like I said, going through it quick, I apologize, we're running short. They added a lot of new sections. You know, the old code was 12 sections. Now we have additional sections, 14 through 17. 14 is fabrication, materials, and detailing. It talks about what's requirements on drawings. It talks about marking structures, making sure structures are marked with certain criteria. Packaging requirements. There's one talking about box of hardware can't weigh more than X pounds. Things like that. So some of the stuff we're really trying to understand, see how it's going to impact. We'll deal with that's going to be a show. Again, as you're being a draft, there's potential some of that could change. Weld inspection requirements. There's weld inspection requirements from Section 5. They put it back here into the fabrication. There's more of a fabrication deal. What welds need UT inspected, need toe crack inspections, things like that. Then they had Section 15 about construction. Right off the bat, they referenced the British Construction Manual. They moved the bolt tightening back to Section 5. There is more bolting information talking about a little bit more about how to tighten down bolts like luminaire arm bolts and other things, torquing. Talks a little more about torquing requirements. And then general construction guidelines. The last two sections are inspections and management. So you'll see their advisory. They usually put that on their advisory. So suggested frequency recommendations. And if you're going to do that, they suggest use the certifications the inspectors should pull. If you want to do paint inspection, it should be base level X. If you want to do this, it should have this. It talks more about that kind of suggestions. And then the equipment. You know, you're going to do an inspection, use the equipment we suggest you use, how you use it, things like that. The last one is management. One thing there, they talk about remaining life, so how to determine how much life is left in the structure, which is part of that fatigue section in the case of F in a little bit. We also talk about dents. When is a dent something that should be of concern? It's so deep over a certain length, if it's so deep compared to the thickness, things like that. And they call it the negligible depth criteria. They also have a small hole ignorance information. So certain holes are, so you're talking to somebody earlier, like the bolt hole covers. There's a 1/4 inch or 3/8 inch hole on the bolt hole cover to hold the nut cover on the base of the bolt. Is that, you have to be concerned about a 3/8 inch hole, 1/4 inch hole? They're giving some criteria, so everybody has something to fall back on. Stand by, 1/4 inch hole, all is properly drilled, isn't going to be an issue. They add some more detail about that in there. It's about 5 or 6 pages on dents and small holes. We'll put you guys 5 minutes over. I could talk more about it if you're really interested. I have no problem with that, but I want to be cautious of your guys' time. I know we're over time right now. Wanted to get through that. Maybe have any questions right now? Yeah.
What life should we be assuming or using signal poles, arms, get whether it is CL spec or
The code standard is 50 year unless we suggest different, unless required different. The standard for the signal is 50. Some for like street lighting, low level lighting, you go to 25 with owner approval. Time you go to 100 is something highly critical, if this were ever to fail, you might be high risk to safety, things like that. The standard is 50.
It says street light poles is 25?
Yeah, you can go to there if the owner approves it.
one final question on it. There's a new coating spec. You see that? Is that in the standard?
Well, what we're doing, that's coming up. We got comments from Valmont. By the way, we like Valmont's system, and we're very proud of your coating system. So everybody hear that, okay?
You got a videotape you.
You do, as a matter of fact. The reason I'm saying that is that I want a phone call every week. Because you're asking a good question. We went to our standard Skylar agreement and told them, please, because you got other questions. We said, please put that up on your standard special provision. You've got it in, what is it, samples, special provisions now, something like that. Where you put it. And it's not the right spot, so we continually have to ask the question. That's why I'm doing what we're doing. And then I'd like to say one other thing too. You alluded to the fact, what's the life? Well, the life of S6, 14, 40, and 48 is as long as it will go. And they're well designed. We have no problems right now. We've never found a problem yet. In fact, we've had holes hit by big trucks. When we talk about hits, we don't even have very big hits. Which tells us that we're well designed, and our next goal will be to see if we can downsize some of the thicknesses in the future a little bit. We weren't strong and heavy when we did it. It was all rational, but there's new information that these guys are presenting. We'll take the new information and go back through it, see if we can't lighten some things up. So that's our future.
But on the coating spec then, if we just say CDOT coating spec, will somebody know what that is?
Well, that's the problem. They can't find it. And so just this week, we turned in a request to Larry Brady instead of putting that up there where people can get it. Yes, we have it. You can call me and I can show you where to get it.
But if we do,
The duplex coach?
Yeah, duplex. Yes, the duplex.
it's galvanized and primer and then coated with.
Well, he reads the spec. It's galvanized first, and then there's a whole lot of prep that you guys know to do the next part. You guys are powder coat people, but
First.
yeah, primarily. There's liquid and powder, and powder is pretty good. That's what they use.
So why is it called duplex when it's really three?
How do you get three?
No, you get three because the galvanizing and the epoxy primer, the taco, but I never got why it was called a duplex.
Well,
To me, it's
okay,
three.
the duplex part is that one is like metallizing, that's the zinc.
Oh, so it's just.
And the other is
duplex
what they
paints.
refer to as liquid.
Okay,
You got a liquid coating,
yeah.
they call it liquid, even, well, powder
Yeah.
and liquid. I'm not a paint guy,
Right.
but powder or liquid plus zinc. Okay?
Oh, okay, so you don't count the primer and the top coat as
No,
two
no, no,
separate
no,
things?
no, that's a system.
Oh.
That's a, yeah, it's a
Oh,
system, and we
Okay,
approve
because
their
I always
system.
think it's three layers. Okay, I get it. Yeah, okay.
So for years, we've been doing galvanizing, we've been doing the duplex idea. We haven't had the primer, and I was trying to figure out, we're gonna get much more serviceability out of that primer.
Well, here's what happens. The most important thing to us is it gonna rust out? Because we'll go do inspections, that's what we see. So we only want galvanized. If you ask me what I want, I just want galvanized. But then I'm not an architect either. And the beauty is in the beholder is the eye and the beholder, right? And so people don't like shiny stuff sometimes, they like color. Okay, you get the color on there, we wrote a spec that will get the color on there as best it can be. But it's very difficult to stick anything, any liquid or powder to a galvanized system and have it stay. So there will be some maintenance of color, trying to keep the paint on there. We do the best we can. And everybody does the best they can. But we got a harsh environment. You got snow plows throwing gravels and salts, and you got wind driven and stuff, and that's just a harsh environment. So let's not any of us expect all that to just last forever.
Because I know the process takes more, it's not another cost issue to do the primer part, we haven't been doing that. But if it's worth it, we want it, so that's kind of.
Well, yeah, and that's what the new spec, our spec out there. You call us, we'll show you where, until Larry fixes it.
So, but everything that CDOT, their spec for CDOT is everything will be powder coated, primer, galvanized, primer, and powder coated.
Now,
What-
Everything.
Right, what we have, our spec says this, if you're gonna paint it, if you're gonna paint it, follow that spec. Because from our viewpoint, we got everything we need to galvanize.
Thanks for clarifying the life. I was looking just purely code says 50 BRI. Structures properly maintained, properly inspected, can last forever. It's all, it starts corroding or fatiguing, that's what we need to watch for.
Right, and with map
Missing that right
21,
away.
with the coming of map 21, the emphasis is on stop talking years, start talking life. Make them last as long as you can, because we don't have money to go back and just start replacing stuff. There's one exception, we have a new standard that this gentleman right here, 128, is preparing for temporary span wires. They're temporary. They're built right too. But we know from experience that nobody really wants span wires, they want mast irons. And so we just have a temporary standard that says that. But that's the only one. Everything else, we want it to go as long as it'll go, and we don't want to talk years. Because map 21 doesn't want to talk years.
Any other questions on this section or really anything throughout the morning that maybe popped up later on? Okay. Then we'll stick around as long as you guys want to stick around afterwards. If you've got more questions, one-on-one, whatever. I'm more than willing. You have my contact information. If you're ready to send an email, have questions, if you're ready to contact me, I'll probably forward you on to Steve at times because he knows your guys' area well because he's been working with powder elevation here for quite a while. He's an expert at it, but we're going to help you out.
Thank you all very much for coming. Appreciate your time. Like I said, we'll hang around. If you have any ideas or comments on this sort of forum for next time, please share those with us as well. Things that maybe we didn't cover or you'd like to get more in depth on.
Well, I have a question. This takes an effort to put this together. I mean, anybody in here who's ever made a presentation knows there's many hours to develop all this and do this. And it was unsolicited. We ever asked for it. So I'm just curious, who did you think your audience would be and what were you trying to get?
The audience of 10 was typically the engineering design community because there's lots of changes going on. Seems more often than we've probably seen 10 years ago. Where we just talked to AASHTO, there's stuff going on, AASHTO, sports lighting stuff. And we spend a lot of time trying to stay involved with it and on top of it. We wanted to make sure that our customers are as aware as we could be of what's going on and see how this is going to impact you guys. So we try to guess how this is going to impact you guys. We'd love to hear from you guys and what this is going to do to you. So we're more knowledgeable on both ends, the code side and the end use side. So in the middle, we can merge it together. And we just wanted to make sure we could provide the information we know and from you guys too. So.
Yeah, I guess, I don't know, I'm just thinking that, I was like, well, we've got new codes coming out, and, I don't know, some agencies, they might not know or care. And then they're getting polls that meet the old ones, and they're keeping up with the new things, and putting out products that meet those, and maybe they're more expensive. And then they don't want to get undercut by people who aren't paying attention to those. Agencies, they don't care, perhaps. I mean,
from a selfish standpoint, it is in our
There's a little bit of
it's
that.
in our best interest to have an informed clientele, right?
And there's definitely, it affects both of us. When we switched to 2013, we've had states switch over. We designed, and they said, oh my gosh, never mind. So go back and do this now. So they spent their time going through the whole procurement process. I mean, I can get procurement, but looking into it, RFQs, evaluating, determining, saying, never mind. Let's start the whole process over and just go back to a different code. So everybody's taking their time because there's a lot of little stuff in there that if you don't have the time to really go through all, you might not pick up on the 40% handling with, or some of these other unique criteria that really changes the designs. So we've seen that go back and forth with people. So I want to just educate as much as possible.
Well, I think as everybody in this room knows, that Valmont's the biggest company around. And you have the most resources to do what you just did. Other companies don't have those resources. So I like Scott's answer here. They said it really puts everybody on the same page. when you're on the same page, then we can talk business. So that makes perfect sense to me, and we thank you very much.
You guys are coming.
And I also say, I don't know how many people from the entities are here. Can you raise your hand? I'm just curious. Where? Lakewood, Thornton, Loveland, Colorado Springs. Okay, good, because that's what you need. You don't just want us. You want everybody.
Well, thanks again. It's a great rest of your day. Thank you.